over my condescending, difficult, somewhat racist future mother-in-law. Me and my partner have been happily together for 10 years, and we recently got engaged in September, but the story with his mom starts a little bit further back. I need to give some info about my background and family so you gals, guys, and pals can get all the details needed. I am mixed race and technically Muslim. I grew up in the Middle East. My mom comes from a prominent and important family back home, so appearances mean a lot. She's been very open-minded towards me and my partner living together for the majority of our relationship, and so has my grandmother, who pretty much runs the family. Due to being from a Muslim family in a Muslim country, for inheritance issues we have to follow some laws, such as Muslim women marrying Muslim men only. My partner has known that he has to convert just on paper for legal issues as soon as we got serious years ago. Bless him, he's never had an issue and has embraced so many parts of my culture. His dad has been incredibly welcoming from the start, other than my partner. His mom, though, on the other hand, has always made me feel like I am an alien, even though she's generally polite. I always get the feeling she is repulsed by many aspects of my culture, and generally sometimes I feel like she thinks people back home are primitive and uncivilized. She also somehow thinks I'm some gold digger. Just before the pandemic, I had a cousin who went through 5+ years of court trying to get back her inheritance. The whole court process was her father's brothers taking her to court to claim her inheritance. We don't legally have wills, and trying to prove she married a non-Muslim. He was a Dutch man who had converted, so luckily she did win, but spent too much money on courts. My grandmother heard about this, freaked out about me and my partner living together, and pretty much demanded mid-lockdown we go get him converted and married within a week. This was more pressure on me than my partner, who was so up for the idea, bless him. He run his parents to tell them the news. During this time I'm crying to my family saying I'd like to wait until everyone can be here and we can truly celebrate together. My grandmother finally calms down and says okay, no need to rush, but soon. Too late though, he has already told his parents via FaceTime. I come into the room to be all like psych, not happening, and I can hear just how giddy his dad is, but not a peep from his mum. I jump on to say hello, apologize for my grandma's crazy, and to not worry, we're not getting married this week. His mother has probably the sourest face I have ever seen on anyone, and tells me straight to my face, just so you know, when you do eventually get married, we are not putting a penny towards it. We have saved for our daughter's wedding, not yours, and in our culture the bride pays. See, I've always known the bride pays in the UK, even though back home the groom pays, and I've never once mentioned the fact they would foot the bill. So I responded, with a shocked laugh to start, and reply with a freak you grin on my face saying, "Thank you for reminding me about that. But not to worry, I can assure you me nor my family need you to pay." Anyway, as usual with his mother's nastiness, no one says anything. No one lets her know she is being rude. It's her world and we only just live in it and have to take what she gives. Fast forward to September last year, we get engaged while on holiday and it was perfect. This time his mum pretends to be happy for us, yay. Me and my mum start planning instantly, and every time we're on a call with his parents I'll tell them what we've planned so far. One day his mum apparently goes crying to my partner and his dad says it's not nice how me and my mum are just planning all of this without getting her involved. I'm sorry, but what? Why would I get her involved? When she said that she didn't want to pay for anything with such a venomous tone. Why the freak would I? I tend to bite my tongue a lot when it comes to his mum, just so I can be polite and keep the peace. Not this time though. I flipped out on my partner, told him how incredibly ironic and just shocking that his mum wants to be so involved considering what she said to me and has actually never apologized for being so rude previously. He agreed. He said he had been hurt by her words too, because at the end of the day it's his wedding too. They should want to contribute to our wedding. He went and spoke to her, told her what she said isn't on. She told him that she'll apologize. Want to know how she apologized? I've been told I've hurt your feelings over some things I've said previously. Sorry about that, me. Thank you for apologizing. It means a lot. She cuts me off and goes, well, not really apologizing, but you know, sorry I guess. You know that scene in Mean Girls where Katie imagines herself as an animal and pounces on Regina in the cafeteria? Yeah, that's exactly what went through my head, but I bit my tongue for my partner's sake. I tell him for the betterment of my relationship with his mother, I really don't want them to contribute. My mother can foot the bill herself comfortably, and I'd just like to bury this. He's adamant that it's his wedding too, and they should contribute, even if I don't want them to. We agree they pay for his suit and the photographer. Couple of months move on, we're in talks with vendors, one of them being our photographer, who isn't cheap and is in super high demand, so I want to go ahead and book her as a P. For over a month I'm waiting on my partner to gain some courage to ask his parents about their budget as we're starting to get the ball rolling. He finally asks, his mom gets all pissy and is all like, we're not saying anything until we know exactly what you're planning, asks me to send her our spreadsheet. My partner can clearly see I'm pissed off and tries to end the call at SAP, saying, yeah, we'll get the info over to you at SAP. I'm at the point now where I really don't want to bite my tongue anymore and just kind of blow up on her, tell her how incredibly difficult, condescending, and sometimes even racist towards me over the years. She can't keep treating people like shit and expecting it to be okay. My partner's entire family put up with it to avoid upsetting her or making it worse. WTF should I do? Am I overreacting? What would you do if you were in my shoes? Mother of groom dress. Am I overreacting? I tried finding a similar post to my story, but couldn't, so here I am. I'm getting married on July 5th in Mexico. It will be myself, fiancé, both our parents, and one sibling from each side. It's the first wedding on my side as I am the eldest sibling, and the second wedding for my fiancé's family. I kind of assumed that she knew what would be appropriate to wear after I told her it would be extremely formal. As in, my sister was planning on wearing her super sparkly gold prom dress. Since it's a small wedding, I wanted it to be unique and be very formal. I guess I should have said black tie. Anyways, my mom picked out a beautiful floor-length halter gown in bronze. Originally, I wanted her to get a champagne ball gown, but she felt it was too much for a wedding. I personally didn't mind because it wasn't white. I have a massive super sparkly ball gown, so I don't think anything can take away from the snow cupcake of a dress, lol. My future mother-in-law showed me a dress she tried on a month ago and I loved it. It was elegant and formal. What stopped her from getting it was the price, so I said maybe wait until it goes on sale. Yesterday, she informed me that she had ordered a very similar dress. She asked if I wanted to see, and I said yes. My heart dropped when I saw it. It is very plain besides the youthful flower print. I kindly said that I felt the other one looked more formal and would be more cohesive with what my family was wearing. But she proceeded to tell me how much she loves it, although she hasn't even tried it on as it is an online exclusive. I asked my fiancé to tell her to look for something more formal. She told him that she is not going to back down. I messaged her to say that I'm worried our photos won't look cohesive as she will look dressed down compared to my family, and that I would be happy to buy her the other dress. Should I just let it go and be okay that my family will be black tie formal with glam makeup and his family will be dressed casual with no makeup? I need honesty, even if you all agree I'm the one in the wrong here, please tell me. May I add that I always wanted to elope because there's always too many opinions surrounding weddings that are not the bride or groom's. Edit. Thanks for all the sound advice. I realize now that my initial wishes of eloping were brushed to the side in order to appease his parents because he is scared of disappointing them. Also, a lot of people are mentioning who cares what people wear. I don't really care. I just don't want her to feel out of place, left out. She has made comments before because I have nicer things, and came to the conclusion that I'm bad with money and that she is worried about my relationship with my fiancé, which makes no sense because I am better with money than he is. But I'm not going to tell her my personal financial situation just so she can blab it to everyone else in the family like how she blabs their personal info to me, making me feel really uncomfortable. I don't want to hear later on how awful my family is because they dressed over the top or something. And what worked for your wedding may not work for everyone else. I don't expect people to have a black tie dress code for their wedding, so you shouldn't expect that people would be okay with guests rolling up in jeans. Finally, she is the type of guest to ruin wedding photos by taking her own, inserting herself at the worst possible times.
Make sure and subscribe.